Hello, listeners. Welcome back to the Flipping the Bird podcast. I am your host, Luke Lawhorn, the current sports editor at the UTSA student newspaper, the Paisano. I know in our last podcast I said that I'd try to be more consistent, which, by the way, was back in May. But, of course, summer happened and we all just got caught up. But we are here. We are for real this time. We are back. We are ready. We start this week in week 1 of the 2023 college football season as I am joined by Connor, Nick, Aramis, some of my staff sports writers here at the Paisano. We'll start in a line here. Just say something into the mic.
All right. Well, my name is Connor. It's my first semester here at the Paisano. I can't wait for football season. It's around the corner. And, let's get talking about some football, boys.
All right. My name is Nick Kingsman. I joined on the Paisano in the summer, this past summer. So I'm excited to start football season. And, let's get to it.
How are you guys doing? It's Aramis. It's my first year at UTSA and first year at the Paisano. It is my first podcast ever, so I'm ready. I feel ready to talk some football.
As I said earlier, it's week 1 of college football. I'm excited to be here with all of you guys. Being week 1 of college football means UTSA plays this Saturday. The Roadrunners are coming off a 11-3 2022 season record while also winning a second straight Conference USA championship and making a third straight bowl game appearance. UTSA has since left Conference USA and officially joined the American Athletic Conference on July 1st. I'll start here with Connor to my left. Connor, what team goals should the Runners have this 2023 season?
Well, I just wrote, 3 main ones here. So number 1, this has been a saying around the program, don't eat the cheese. Everyone knows UTSA is legit. We're in the new conference now, and there's a lot more expectations on us than previous seasons, and I think people are expecting us to challenge, Tulane and SMU and Memphis for the conference title. So I would just say, just got to keep level-headed, stay humble, basically stay on the foundations of what this program was founded on. Number 2, rise to those expectations because, like I said, we're legit now. People are not going to doubt us anymore. People are expecting us to give Tennessee a game, Houston a game. Tulane, we're expected to either beat them or at least it's going to be a very tight game. So, we have to rise to the expectations. And then finally, this is more of a personnel standpoint. I would just say they have to take advantage of the veteran offense. Rely on Joshua Suehs, Frank Harris, DeCorian Clark, guys like that, guys that have been in the program for years and have made big performances, big plays. So those are the 3 goals. And if they do that, I think UTSA can not only win the American, but potentially make a run into a New Year's Six bowl.
Connor, you really said some great things right there about, the 3 goals, staying consistent with the guys, After this year, we got a lot of seniors. This is it for them. And we need to capitalize on the opportunities that we have. Tulane, they won the American last year. And, it's us and Tulane.
So I've got a couple goals for them. I think the biggest one is do everything in their power to keep their players healthy, especially Frank Harris and DeCorian Clark. This is Frank Harris's last season at UTSA. Him being on the team, the offense goes as he goes. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to play good. And God forbid, but if he goes down, the team isn't going to do good. And then DeCorian Clark as well. He was on pace for 1,000 yards last year. He also had 200 yards in one game as well. So keep him healthy. And if both of them stay healthy, then the offense especially, should do good.
Yeah, I think all of you guys bring up valuable points. Obviously, you want to have the team healthy. They are joining a new conference, which is by far the biggest kind of what-if of the season. They've kind of dominated, clearly the Conference USA the last 2 years, losing, 1 total conference game to North Texas 2 seasons ago. So they're facing a bunch of new competition. However, they were predicted to finish second in the new conference. Tulane is predicted to finish first, which, by the way, is the last game of the season, so who knows if the conference comes down to that night. But there's just a lot of unknowns, so I think that's what the 2023 season will be defined as, is the unknown, the what if. So there's a lot to go into, which, like I said earlier, they've dominated their conference the last 2 seasons, going 12-2 the first year, 11-3 last year. Which kind of makes me question, what should we expect for them to go in 2023? They do have a tough schedule, notably Houston in week 1. They play Tennessee. They play Tulane. Bunch of great matchups. So I'm curious here, Connor, throughout these next 12 weeks, what do you have the Roadrunners' regular season final record as?
So if you're a UTSA fan through and through, I think we all have confidence in the team. I'm going to go 11-1. I think it's going to be actually a really close game between them and Tennessee, but I think they will fall. I think Houston, this is a hot take, I think they're blowing them out. In Houston, I think they're blowing them out. I might get clipped up for that, but I think they're going to blow them out. And I think in Tulane, they're going to take care of business, and, they're going to I think they'll go 11-1. I know it's a tough schedule. I mean, the American's a great conference. They've got some difficult road games in there as well and difficult home games. I mean, Florida Atlantic is a tough one. East Carolina on the road is always a tough place to play. UAB, Conference USA foe or former Conference USA foe. So, but I think the Roadrunners this year have enough talent to get to 11-1 and set shockwaves through the American.
Connor, not to copy you here, but I also have the Roadrunners going 11-1 too. Notably, first game of the season, the Cougars, close game last year. Really heartbreaking in the Dome. We're going to want to bring that back. Winning in Houston. I had to say the Tennessee game, it's going to be rough. Last year, Tennessee really had a great season, and they have a lot of guys returning from that successful season from last year. I think Tulane, for me personally, that could be a toss-up. Tulane was a damn good football team. They had a great turnaround from, that 2-win season, just 2 seasons ago. It's also in New Orleans, so that could be a big, that might be like, we might have a rematch in the American Championship. But I think we can wipe teams like, North Texas again, despite their new coaching staff, UAB with, again, their new coaching staff. But no, I think this season should be good. Should be entertaining, of course.
So I got them winning one less game than you guys. I got them going 10-2. I think they beat Houston in that first week, beat Texas State, beat Army. I think they lose to Tennessee. Joe Milton is their quarterback. I think they have a lot of talent. And they're also at home as well, so I could see them losing that one. I think they beat Temple, UAB. I have them losing against Florida Atlantic. I think it's a trap game for them. It's a very top-heavy team, and they got Casey Thompson as well. So I think they lose that one. They blow out East Carolina. They should beat UNT, blow out Rice, blow out South Florida. And that Tulane game, it's a toss-up. Finished 12-2 last season, and we're the AAC champions. Yeah, it's a toss-up game, but with the momentum going into that last game, I have him winning 5 straight to end the season. And it's also it should be like Frank Harris's second to last or last game. So with that on the line, I think they pull off the win against Tulane.
Wow, I'm actually kind of surprised to hear multiple 11-1 takes, and then a 10-2 is kind of where I have it. I kind of have them finishing 9-3, maybe in 10-2. So I do have them winning their season opener against Houston. I have them winning against Texas State, their home opener. That Army game is a lot closer to me than y'all are giving it credit for. We've played the last 2 straight seasons, so this is the trilogy game. They beat us the first time. Last year went into double overtime in West Point. So 2 straight close games. And I think that's a possible look-ahead week to Tennessee. I think I'm predicting Army to beat UTSA in the Dome. The Tennessee game, I actually kind of see differently. I don't really view Tennessee as the number 12 team in the country like everyone else does. Even last year, I thought they were pretty overrated. We saw that against Georgia. But losing Jalen Hyatt and Hendon Hooker, yes, I know who they have back at quarterback. But I think that's a possible upset for Tennessee. I have UTSA. If that's a toss-up game for me. I have us losing to Army. The Tennessee game can go either way. I think we do beat Temple. I don't think UAB will be a blowout game. They always play us tough. They have great defenses. But I do have us taking care of business, especially since it's in the Alamo Dome. I think we beat Florida Atlantic. We've never had a problem with either them or FIU. East Carolina, I don't think will be a blowout, but I do think it'll be tough. And I do have us coming out on top. That North Texas game is going to be very close, who I do have us defeating the Mean Green. Destroy Rice, destroy South Florida, like y'all said, and have us lose to Tulane for the last game of the season. I think that game, I just think they're more experienced. This is their conference. We might be a year away from being able to sweep the American Athletic, but not our first year. We'll go 9-3, maybe 10-2 if we pull off the upset against Tennessee, and I'm excited to see it. So the first game of their 12-game schedule is against the Cougars this Saturday in Houston. Connor, last year, you brought it up. The Cougars defeated us in overtime, or triple overtime, which, by the way, we were ahead multiple scores late in the fourth quarter. It's a game we had and gave away. How do you see this Saturday going down for the Roadrunners?
Well, I think, the last time UTSA played Houston on a big occasion, it was when Houston opened up the new stadium almost a decade ago now. They took care of business, 27-7. I think it's going to be very similar. Houston's first official game as a member of the Big 12. I think UTSA beats them 35-7. I think they absolutely wiped the floor with them. I think there's becoming a big rivalry now between Houston and UTSA, and I love it. I really wish Houston was still in the American because you would see it more. I hope, we can continue a series with them because, not only between the two schools, but in terms of the two cities, it's a rivalry, man. San Antonio and Houston they do not like each other. You could say the same, with the Spurs and the Rockets and any other sports. So I think UTSA takes care of business. I think they get revenge after what happened last year. Like you said, the game was in our hands, and I think this game will be in our hands for all four quarters.
I don't know, Connor. I think you're selling the Cougars just a little bit too short. But, like you said, first game in the Big 12. I think UTSA is not going to wipe the floor, but I think it's going to be a damn good game. I want us to spoil their first game with the Big 12 patch on their uniforms. I don't know. I think it's going to go off. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, defenses and whatnot in modern college football. It's questionable. I think it's going to be a 30-point game. I think it's going to be, 34-31, close game, kick at the field goal right at the end of the game. So I also think Houston has lost a lot of players from the last year's game, such as quarterback Clayton Tune. He's in the pros. So it's going to be interesting to see how Coach Holgorsen is going to take that team to beat us. But I think we got him.
So, Nick, like you said, they lost Clayton Tune. They've got Donovan Smith right now, who the Texas Tech quarterback last year, he threw 12 passing touchdowns in 12 games, 8 interceptions. I don't think he's very good. And like you said, Luke, we blew a big lead to them last year. We were up 21-7, and we ended up losing 37-35, right? So having that loss in mind, and then also losing Clayton Tune, losing Tank Dell, losing Alton McCaskill, and they also lost a few key pieces on the defense as well. So, and then also UTSA has more experience, more returning players. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be 35-7. I do have UTSA scoring 35 points. I'm trying to pick between giving Houston 21 or 28 points. I'm going to give them 28. I'm going to respect them. I have the game going 35-28, UTSA's way.
Well, the one thing I can for sure agree with all of you guys on, I do have UTSA coming out on top. I have it as a 2-score victory, and not that it's a dominating 2-score victory, but kind of UTSA, they're in a slugfest, and they score late in the fourth quarter to kind of give themselves a 2-score victory. I have them winning again 35 points, like y'all said, to 24. But I could totally see that game being, 28-24, 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The seventh-year veteran, Frank Harris, leads us down for a clock-draining drive, gets the touchdown. We walk away with the victory, start 1-0 on the season. I do see that happening this Saturday. I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited for the rest of the season. I'm so excited to keep this podcast going with y'all. We had a great episode today. I'm excited to come back here next week and talk about how great it was to see UTSA defeat the Cougars and what to look forward to that upcoming week against West Point, or Texas State, I should say. Thank you guys for listening. Be sure to check us out next week and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks for watching. Click our logo to subscribe or click the videos for more from the Paisano. Leave a comment letting us know your thoughts and what you'd like to see us cover next.